Hello and welcome back to the Gemma and Rachel Let's Chat podcast. This week we are going to be talking about all things social media. We're going to give you the good, the bad and the comparison that can happen whenever you're either blogging on social media or using it as a small business. So if that sounds like something that you would like to listen to, you know what to do. Pop on your headphones, link up the Bluetooth, grab a brew and let's chat. Gem, social media. Isn't it just a beautiful but challenging thing?
Yeah, definitely. It's for me, the comparison. That's always been my struggle. Yeah,
I completely agree. And I think that we wanted to cover this because we know a lot of you that listen to us have got social media accounts, or maybe you're thinking about using social media a little bit more. And there really is, a lot that you could discuss about social media, but we're going to try and condense it down to just giving you some of the benefits, some of our experiences, and maybe some advice that we would give our past selves to help navigate social media. So to start with, Jem, do you want to talk a bit about what your background is with Instagram? How did you start it? How have you found it? Let us know.
So my first sort of 4 or 5 years in the business, I didn't really use social media. It was all very much face-to-face, word of mouth, giving a good service. My clients recommending new clients to me. That's just how I built my business. And that's the only way I really knew. I wasn't a social media expert. I didn't really know how to use it. I had Facebook. I had a Facebook account. And I did actually have an Instagram account, a personal one that just, looking back, I think, what was the point in using it? I didn't really understand what it was. Why do people just post a picture? I didn't really get it.
I went back on my personal word, I've never been big with social media, which is always funny because obviously I use it so much now. And it was literally a picture of my Christmas snails, a picture of a bauble with the biggest filter you've ever seen in your life. It's cringy.
Oh,
it is
well,
cringy.
Looking back at it is so cringy. And those statuses that I used to write on Facebook, I used to be one of those ones that was a bit cryptic, and you're oh, and you want people to say, oh no, what's wrong?
DM me her.
Cringy. Yeah, honestly, it was horrendous.
Lyrics. The amount of song lyrics from emo songs that come up on my Facebook from 2006. So it's hilarious.
But again, none of us knew how to use it, did we? It's just kind of all winging it. We're just kind of copying other people or seeing what other people are doing. That's what my social media was like. It was very much very personal pictures of friends, or pictures of the kids when Finney was born, there was the odd photo of him. But then actually I started, thinking about Instagram a little bit more for business. I just thought, actually, I was following celebs and things, and I was kind of seeing how they were using it. So I was very much influenced by watching, not even really celebs, but people from Towie, or beauty people, or companies that maybe I bought things from. I was just following these businesses, and I thought, actually, they're on there every day, and actually it's really nice I really enjoyed watching people's stories. I remember when stories became a thing, and I was massively influenced by watching Firma McCann curl her hair with this new tong, and I was like, oh, I need it. And I thought, oh my gosh, she hasn't even sold it. She's just using it while she's chatting, and then she put a link on, and I bought it. And I thought, maybe I should just talk about the plan a little bit more and see if it works. Because I talk about it every day with my clients and my friends and everyone else that I meet. So why not try it online? And I started doing stories. I started posting a little bit more online of I encouraged my clients to let me post before and after pictures and things like that. Looking back, it's all still very basic, because I didn't really know what I was doing. But the stories is what changed it for me. I think because people started to get to know me. So I was the face behind the page or the business. But even then I had Snapchat filters on, because I wouldn't dare go on there without stupid little dog ears and the perfect skin. And I was very self-conscious, and it was hard to start. That's one of the top questions actually for me. How do you record a story? I hate seeing myself, or I hate hearing my voice, or I've got nothing to say. You just kind of have to just do it and learn. And if you watch my first ones, you'll realise that it really wasn't any good.
Oh my God.
But they're only there 24 hours.
Exactly. They're there 24 hours and then they go. And I don't think anyone likes really seeing themselves or listening.
But you get used to it.
You do. You do get used to it. And it's funny that you talk about the filters and stuff, because when we did the blogging course that you, me and Nat did, which I will link in the show notes, because if you are interested in starting blogging your weight loss journey, or even just if you've got a small business and want to start online, then it's a really good session that we kind of go through in a bit more detail, kind of what we're discussing today. And as part of that training, I screen grabbed mine, Gem, and Nat's Instagram pages from when we first started. And genuinely, I could have cried. Like, it was hilarious. Gem was like the filter queen. I apparently loved just posting pictures of my porridge. And Nat's is just loads of like the thumbnails from live videos where your face is all like here, there, and everywhere. So they definitely were not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. Like, you've got to start somewhere. And for me, I think I use social media mainly after Poppy was born. I've talked about this before, but it was in lockdown. There was no like baby groups. There was no nothing. And so I set an Instagram up just to write about how much I was hating life, basically, as a new mum in lockdown.
It's like a distraction, isn't it? You probably used it as a bit of a like
when you're nap trapped. Like, it was just nice to be able, because Poppy contact slept. So it was nice if she was on me for a nap to just be able to get my phone up and I could speak to someone else that was nap trapped, or
talk to other mums.
And like, there was always another mum online at like 2 a.m, or like stories. I agree, I was the same. I liked watching other people's stories and kind of feeling like I wasn't alone. And you do feel like you can connect with people. So I started Mama to a Wildflower then, and then the only reason I set up the one-to-one diet wildflower page was because I was like, I don't want to put it on this page that I've kind of grown, because people probably are going to be interested. I was like, who's going to be interested in it? Probably no one. And so that's when I started the one page. And do you know what? I think that was something that was really good for me, is that I looked at it and thought, look, realistically, unless you're searching this out, you're probably not going to find my one-to-one diet page. And I think that meant that I was happier being more like open and honest on there and doing those videos right from the beginning. And I just wanted it to be like a virtual diary that I could, look back on. I was so determined that this was going to be different. And so I had to do different things and putting myself out there. And, did I like how I looked and sounded? No, not at all. But I had to kind of get over it to be like, it's only if I can accept how I look and sound and do all of this now that I'm going to be able to get through and get to a place where I feel better. So then I just started on one-to-one diet wildflower, and it kind of took off from there. But I think one thing to really, really say is that if you're new to social media, or maybe you've had an account, but you haven't maybe posted regularly, or you've not known what to post, and then you see other accounts that look like they know exactly what they're doing, that does not happen overnight.
No,
like it takes a long time. And I think, me and you, Jem, we've both been online pretty consistently for over 4 years to get to where we are today, albeit mine was on a separate account and then moved over to this one. But do you feel like when people say to you, like, I don't know where to start, or I kind of don't know what to post, you were in that position because you didn't know what you were doing.
Didn't have a clue. I just didn't have a clue. I was winging it for a long time. I'm still winging it now. But I think the key for me was following other people that I could be inspired by, like not necessarily other consultants or other people doing the same job as me, just other people in business in general. And that's what gave me the confidence to firstly do the story, first make a reel. It's because I saw some other people making reels. It just become like you start to watch. If you're a user of social media or Instagram or whatever one you're using, you just start seeing things and thinking, oh, I wish I could do that, or maybe I'll try and do that. And I used to copy people, not like copy people completely, but I was always inspired by what I saw and just thought, well, I'll just make my own version of that and hope for the best. And I never knew if I was ever going to get business from it. I wasn't really originally doing it for that. I just really enjoyed learning new things, trying new things, just practicing. I saw it as it wasn't a big deal. I didn't have many followers anyway, so it's not like loads of people were watching me. And then before I knew it, I started creating all these lovely friendships with people that I didn't know. And, people will ask me questions about maybe the plan or ask me for advice. And I was just helping random people on the internet because that's what I love doing and that's what I do as a job. And I didn't mind. I just enjoyed doing it. And I think you do have to enjoy it to want to post and want to be on there consistently. If you really don't like it, maybe don't use social media. But I genuinely enjoyed using it and speaking to people. And I think maybe it was my like way of, I found it quite social. Chatting to people, just because in your job I was so busy at that point, like very face to face with my clients. I didn't really have much of a social life really, apart from obviously my besties, my closest friends, but I enjoy meeting new people. And for some reason, I felt more confident doing it online than I do face to face. So I think that's just where it all started for me. But I couldn't get business from social media at that point because it wasn't virtual. We weren't allowed to post products. We weren't allowed to help people that weren't close to us. It was very much so you put your postcode in and you pick the consultant that's closest to you, or the one that you can relate to the most that you can get to, because you'd have to physically go and see them and buy your products. So the people I was helping was just because I liked helping people. And I think because I did that for so long, like selflessly, I guess, I was just on there just helping people without any benefit to me. I just wanted to spread the brand of the one-to-one, teach people how to do it properly, teach people how to do the steps. And I thought if I can just push this out there on social media, it might help the whole brand. And then COVID happened and head office announced that we could go virtual. And I did a post that said, guys, I can help you anywhere in the UK now. We're allowed to post products. I had 27 inquiries in the first day. Just saying, oh my God, I've spoken to you for years. Like, let's do it. You can finally be my consultant. How do we do it? I was like, I don't know. We have to do a video. Yeah. And you were new. I didn't know how to support people virtually. I honestly didn't know how to do it. But it turns out it's exactly the same as face to face. It's just on a video instead of in the same room. And actually, I build stronger connections now virtually than I think I ever did face to face. We've said this before, because you get clients that know you, they relate to you already, you're very similar. Most of my clients are very similar to me and we get on right from the word go.
That's it. And I think that's why if you do have a small business, regardless of what that is, like, you're missing out not using social media. And I normally say, like, use a social media that you use. Like, if you're someone who is a big Facebook user, you like Facebook, you like the interface, you like how the features of it, use Facebook. Like, if you're someone who likes Instagram and you like the features, you like kind of what the people who come to Instagram are looking for, use Instagram. Like, don't feel like you have to use every social media platform. Like, I pretty much stick to Instagram. Like, and the only other platform I really invest or would invest time into is YouTube, because I have always been a huge YouTube fan. Like, we're talking back in like 2006, I probably started a YouTube account. And little fun fact, you will not find anything. It has been deleted to within an inch of its life. However, back then I had a little bit of like a makeup beauty YouTube channel.
I remember you said. I wish that was still there.
I'm glad it isn't. But it was, I just love doing it. And I think that if you can figure out what content you like, you can then draw inspiration from that into the content that you want to create. And I spoke about this on Instagram this week because I've just been in a real funk with it. Like, I've just not really felt my creative juices flow in. And a lot of that was down to the content that I was putting out, because the annoying thing with social media is, the algorithms will push out the content they want to push out. But that does not always mean that the content then that you want to create is what the algorithm is going to favor. So for me, for example, I know I can put a before and after out and it will get twice the amount of reach as a video of me actually sitting and talking about something and giving advice and value and all the rest of it. But if you're only posting out the stuff you're not actually enjoying, like the before and after picture, that can be quite negative. Because for me, for example, I'm then, I'm being like, right, this year is about me, like, accepting me, knowing that I'm more than just weight loss. I've got more to offer. But then you can feel pressured to then post the content that's going to help get your account seen by more people and even seen by your own followers. Because a lot of the time, like, you don't even, like, people who follow you won't even see your content some of the times. So, and the only time they will is when Instagram's checked out another really monotonous before and after picture, which
this is what I find the hardest though about social media. It's so hard. If you get caught up in all of this, it makes you not enjoy it anymore. And that's why I've just always been like, I don't care. I'll just post it and hope for the best.
And that is the best way to be. And I think what I really enjoy about social media, but also enjoy having those relationships with people on social media, is that if you do start finding yourself in those moments, like people will kind of either call you out on it, or they'll be like, no, I feel the same. And then you will just go back to doing the things that you like. I think people, there is a lot of people that find themselves in like funks and they're not knowing what to post. And I've always said, if you don't know what to post, you're not feeling inspired, just don't post. Like,
don't post.
Just don't
don't post for no reason.
No, people will see through you trying to put something out just for the sake of it, and it won't do well, and it will potentially impact you in a negative way. So yeah, like I'm definitely reassessing and going back to doing what I want. But it's an important thing to say, because you will look perhaps at people's pages and think, well, that's what I've got to post. Actually, if it doesn't serve you, it's not enjoyable to make, do whatever you like, whether that's, comedy reels or beauty, or it doesn't have to be all related to your business or your weight loss. If you're blogging your weight loss journey, you can incorporate more than just weight loss on your page. And I think that's probably some of the biggest advice I would love to go back and give to Rachel of 2020, 2021, when I started the page, would be, this doesn't have to be just about weight loss. Like, there's so much more to you than just this weight loss journey. But I think if we set an account up to blog our weight loss, we think, well, this is the topic. Like, but I wish I'd sprinkled in a bit, and I think I did on my stories, but not as much on my grid. And I that's the one thing I kind of wish I'd done a bit more of from the beginning, because I think it would have reduced, as time went on, the feelings I have about just being that before and after picture, which is,
you're so much more than that, Rach.
I know,
so much more.
It's really interesting. Like, I've never really heard anyone talk about that who maybe has a social media account dedicated to something, and whether that's like a mummy account or a cooking account, like, or a beauty account. Like, you're more than just that niche that maybe you create content on, but it can, it can be difficult sometimes to see that. And I think especially when it's something like weight loss, which we know is notoriously like bad for comparison anyway, as you go through life, and this is what, I'm 3 years now down the road, and I feel like it's not during your weight loss that it can be so much of a problem as it is like later on and like longer into it, because there has to come a point as well where you kind of close that chapter.
Definitely, because you don't want to, you are at a different stage of your life now. Because I sometimes I compare myself and think, God, if I just put on a bit of weight and went back on plan, I'd probably get loads of new followers, which is awful. Like, but that is sometimes what I think, because I feel like I'm boring now because I've done my bit. I've done my weight loss. It was so long ago. I'm now, all people know me for is the vanilla latte, or like what I eat in a day. And I was like, but that is me now. And that's what seems to get more engagement for me. So I see that as, well, maybe that is what my clients or my followers do want to see. They want to know what I'm eating. But then you'll post what you think people want, that people ask me for every day. Like, what do you eat in a day? How many calories do you have? How do you maintain? I'll post it, and then it gets no engagement, and you think, what is the point? Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you saw my story the other day. I felt really cringe saying, but guys, you can like my post. If you like it, please like it. Don't just ignore it. And one girl actually messaged me saying, oh my God, do you know what? I never like anyone's post because I don't want to look like a stalker. I said to her, oh my God, it's the complete opposite. Like, if you want to support people, if there's people that inspire you, or you want to see more of their content, you want to learn from them, like and post and engage on everything, like and share or comment on everything that they post, because then you'll see it more. But I don't think I think like the average user of Instagram maybe doesn't know that you should be liking things that you like, because then you see it more.
That's it. You build your own algorithm, man. Like,
you do,
so you can create the things that you're seeing, but also you let creators know what you want them to invest their time in, because it's hard sometimes whenever you think, how much is that? Don't get me wrong, the captions, they're really inspiring. They're literally Mrs. Motivator over here, but that's not what you see when you go on my grid. And also, like, so like the content you want to see. If you've watched that What I Eat in a Day and you were like, and you watched it, the fact that you've watched a whole reel, like a 90 second What I Eat in a Day, you liked it, like press tap thing. And across all, all spectrums of content, genre, and, what have you.
It's the same. I find even like with some of my closest friends, they'll go, "Oh, I saw that video of you the other day. It's amazing. Like you were so professional." And I was like, "Did you like it?" And they were like, "No." I'm like, "Thanks for the support." But I get a lot of messages. I get a lot of messages of support or questions. I get a lot of, my whole day is basically people DMing me, asking me questions. And I think, just write it on the post and then I can answer it publicly and other people can see the answer as well. Just pop it on there.
That's it. Like pop it on. It helps for engagement. Like it helps like others.
But you don't want to be that. I don't want to be that person saying that, because it is cringe, isn't it? Like, oh, please like my stuff. But actually, I genuinely think people don't know that they should do that.
I am terrible for forgetting to like people's content, but we are just in such a scroll society now. Like you kind of scroll, take the content in and move on. And I think, just taking that time to like people's content and leave a comment and stuff like that, it means so much.
Oh, it really does, doesn't it? It's like, it's such a lovely, just to know that you're doing the right thing, that people want you, because content creation is so much effort. It takes a lot of time. And I think all people see is a 60 to 90 second video and they think, oh, you don't really think about it, but actually you filmed all day to do that and you've had to edit it, do the sound, post it. It is a lot of work. And I think if you want to see more or you enjoy it, just tell them. It's nice.
And on that note, just remember how many hours I've spent editing podcasts, please, in the past, listeners. And if you want to,
I know, if I could like this, I'd be liking it.
Put a comment.
Yeah,
do all things.
Rachel sits and bloody edits this for hours.
Well, luckily now, last week was actually the easiest ever. It was like, I could just put it on the laptop, go and get my fruit and nut bar and carry on with my life. It was fantastic.
That's
it was
so good though.
Speedy Gonzalez. But it definitely, like, content takes time, but people enjoy it. That's why we do it. But I think there's that, that back and forth of like, if you're finding content useful, just tap through. I'm really going to make an effort to be more tappy when I am.
I'm very tappy. I really try and be tappy. I don't always leave comments, but I will always like, and I've always done that from whenever I first started. And that's why I used to get upset in the early days. So I think, God, I would support anyone I know in anything they do online. I'd be liking it, commenting on it. I'd be supporting them, but no one did it for me. And I felt a bit like,
oh, Gemma.
Maybe it'll come back round one day. But it does. You guys always do.
Gosh, how heartbreaking is this?
But it was. Right. It was like that for quite a few years. I was like...
Public service announcement. Do not let Gemma Rennick's post go untapped, because this poor woman...
But unless you really don't like him, just unfollow. Sorry. You don't have to like him if you don't like him.
But it is, if you are, I think it's something as well, like that if you are, if you're a content creator, if you are a business and maybe you're not seeing the taps, like, don't be afraid to say to people, like, please give it a like if you liked it. Like, it's, we don't need to think of it as like a cringy thing, because, you spend a lot of time doing it, and it's not a lot of the time, and I'm guilty of this, it's just generally we're scrolly. We need to just be a bit more tappy. So, and I think as well, if you're someone who is like new to social media, don't get caught up in numbers and stuff like that. Like, it really doesn't matter. Like, look at what social media can give you. Like, when I was blogging my weight loss journey, it wasn't about growing an Instagram page. Like, I wasn't interested in any of that. It was about building a community. And that's what social media has always given me. When I was a new mum, it gave me community. Obviously, that's how me and Georgie met. Like one of my bestest friends in the whole world was through that social media, and the amount of friendships, connections I have because of my one-to-one wildflower page is incredible. It's insane. And actually, whilst I was on my weight loss journey, I really feel like it was fundamental in me having success with Plan, because it gave me
accountability, isn't it?
Even more accountability. Obviously, like, I had you and we had our calls and stuff, but being able to sit every week and just do those little videos and reflect on the week, there's just something really powerful about that. And then I could watch other people's, could go and watch Nat's, and if I was ever having a difficult week, it was like this whole rally of support to be like, you're doing amazing, keep going. And so for me, it has always been the community aspect of social media. I just love you're never alone, and if you can be brave enough to share even just a little bit of vulnerability about you and your story, people will come back and share with you theirs, and then you don't feel alone. And it's It's a really lovely thing. I really, really love that part of social media. And I think
me too.
Lucky that a lot of our connections that we have with people now, a lot of our friendships have come from social media. Like, it's,
and I never thought that was a thing. I would have been one of those skeptical people that, you can't be friends with people you meet online. You really can. You have to do it and learn that can happen. Literally, I would say you guys are my best friends. Like, you genuinely
without
are.
a doubt.
And we met
literally online. BFF for life, always.
Yeah, forever.
But I think it's also really lovely for people that maybe are on a weight loss journey who don't feel like they can talk to friends. They haven't got people that maybe can relate with what's happening in their day to day, to have those people that they can make connections with online and speak to online. And also, even if you're not putting your own journey out there, you'd be a fool not to just use social media
for use it.
Inspiration and content and ideas, and even to just have your consultant feel a bit closer. So many of my clients will be like, Rach, I really don't know what to say to you because I know everything that you've been doing. I've been messaging you all week. Like, so, but it's, it is good because I feel like my clients also feel that I'm there more than maybe I physically am. And also you can give value to a wider audience of people. It doesn't have to be like one-on-one on a call or something. Yeah,
100%. I agree. And a lot of my clients have made like a lot of friends online, and some of my clients don't post anything personal to them. They're just on there to chat to other people. And I always say, don't be afraid to message someone that inspires you. If you're following someone on plan and they're blogging, message them and tell them, or, ask them a question. Because I always say, I'm here one-on-one whenever you need me, but actually there's a massive network that you can use for free and get all the extra support that you want and all the extra accountability. Like, just use it and try it. You won't know if you like it unless you try it. And I can guarantee, you only need that one person to start messaging that's actually on plan as well. I think a lot of my clients like that they get to talk to people that are actually physically doing the same thing as them. They're in the same situation as them. Whereas I'm not. I've been there and done it. I'm advising them on how to do the plan, and I can help them with any of their questions. But actually to speak to someone with the same struggles at the same time, I think it's really powerful.
It is. Like, me and Nat always said that, like, we did plan together, because for a fact there's going to be days, right, where you look at us as your consultants and you go, well, it's all right for her. What does she know? She's not having to do it now. But it's true. But then I always had Nat, who was like in the moment. This was like what was happening right now for her. And that is a really, really special thing to have. And, people will always worry about negative comments or like trolls or things like that online. But I can honestly say that especially when I was blogging my weight loss, I maybe had one or two things that, looking back, were not even that bad, like comment wise. And to be honest, every other person that was in the comments just jumped on board and was like, had my back, and it was fine. And, as a more kind of professional content page or business page, again, it's few and far between. It does not happen often. And the best thing about it is if anyone ever writes something that you don't like, block and delete. Block, delete.
Easy.
Block and delete. It's my favourite thing. Yeah. Block and delete. And then you can create your page to be your own. You can have it private. You can do whatever you want. Don't hold back on a fear of something that could be, when actually the reality is the chance of it happening is really small. And also, if you did do something and you had a bad reaction, if someone said something nasty, you've got that whole community there that are going to stand up for you and be there for you, and, not let you have to take that on your own kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that feels like quite a nice place to round up this week's episode. Hope you've enjoyed our whistle-stop tour on social media. It is something that we're both really passionate about. Obviously, we're on social media a lot. I will link our socials in the show notes below, as well as the training that we did on blogging your weight loss, where you can find out more about our tips for how to do that. You can also see the screenshots of Gemma's heavily filtered face and my mixed berry porridge, just to get an idea of kind of where we came from, so that you can see, look, you don't jump on Instagram today and end up with hundreds of followers and creating like amazing level of content. Like, it's a learning progress, but the beauty of it is you can just play about with it and have fun with it and just create the things that you want to create. Don't pigeonhole yourself. If you do want to create content, let all sides of you kind of come through, because you will build the best connections when people get to know who you really are versus just this one little slice of you. So hopefully this has given you some inspiration to go and do that. And if you do, maybe you put a new post out, maybe you set up a new page, please tag me and Gem so that we can come and tappy tap on your screen and give you some love. And please share the love with us. Oh God, this has been a desperate
please tap.
podcast, hasn't it? Please tap, share, like, subscribe. No, please do. But for now, it's bye from me.
And bye from me.
And we will see you all again really soon.